That's right. Can I introduce Mary now? Mary Marshall, who's come all the way from America and is the founder of International Alopecia Day. Welcome.
So, as I say, 10 years ago, when I was 55, I lost all my hair, quickly progressed from just little patchy alopecia that I'd had for about 7 years to universalis. I bought several wigs, I think 6 actually, is how many wigs I bought, and I thought that wearing them was going to be fun. I really looked forward to it. But I discovered pretty quickly that I have a very hot head. I'll tell you the story that really started me rethinking things. A couple of months after losing my hair, I hadn't been bald in public yet. At that time, I couldn't imagine ever being bald in public. I was in a crowded music hall, unair-conditioned, during a heat wave, waiting for a show to start, and the sweat was running down my face from under the wig. And after about 15 minutes of this, I couldn't take it anymore, and I tore the wig off my head, threw it on the floor, shouted very loudly a word that I will not repeat, but you have it here as well. And then I started to cry and sob loudly. It was all in a crowded theater of people. And the same exact thing happened to me a few more times, and I knew that I had to find another way to deal with what was happening to me. What I decided at that point was that I could deal more easily with the emotional discomfort of being seen bald in public than I could deal with the physical discomfort of being overheated the rest of my life. So I decided to start trying to go out in public bald. Made short trips, kept a journal, first time to the mailbox, first time to the library, first time, and then I stopped keeping track of it because it just became who I was. I found it was very hard at first. I thought everyone was looking at me and I kind of was like this. But then I realized that if I acted like there was nothing unusual about my appearance, people seemed to react differently. They seemed to take it in stride. And I held my head up, and I bought a lot of new earrings, which helped a lot. So at that point I began to want to reach out to people with alopecia. There was no Facebook then, but there was YouTube, so I made a YouTube video where I explained how I tied a particular kind of scarf, and I also talked a bit about how I was starting to go out in public bald. That video is still on YouTube. It's called Alternatives to Wearing a Wig. And at this point I want to say something very sincerely. I want to make very clear that I completely support anyone who prefers to wear a wig, anyone who feels better in a wig. I wish that I could wear them. I think they're beautiful. I think it must be a lot of fun to be able to change up your looks the way you can with wigs. But to my frustration, I just can't. My goal, my sort of crusade, what I really want is for everyone to feel they have a choice. I want everyone to feel free to choose how they should look, be it bald, be it in a wig, or a nice hat or scarf. So in 2010, I came up with an idea for a special day for people with alopecia. My goals were for us to have a day we could celebrate who we are, a day for people who feel very alone, as I did for years, to know that they're not alone, and also to raise public awareness. As we all know, everybody that sees a bald woman, or some men or children, will assume they have cancer. I called it International Alopecia Day. I'll refer to it as IAD for short to save time here. On the first Saturday of August every year, people around the world have parties or celebrations. Some have awareness events. Some have fundraisers for their local alopecia organization. And many people post photos of themselves with IAD greetings on social media. Every year since 2010, I have made a YouTube video with photos taken on International Alopecia Day that people send to me to be in the video. This slide you're looking at is a montage of some photos from earlier videos that I've done. So the first year in 2010 and the first few years after that, I didn't have very many countries represented, although the UK was in there from the beginning, I think. But the 8th annual IAD video just went online last month, and we had 38 countries represented. That was a new high, and all over the world. And it's on YouTube. You can find it under International Alopecia Day 2017. So moving along, you may recognize a few people here. Alopecia, people with alopecia in the UK have been big supporters of International Alopecia Day and participants in my annual video project. There's someone you recognize. I love this one. Scottish contingent always send me a lot of good photos. And there's good and be here. So that's going to the next one. So Alopecia UK have had events many years, every year now, in association with International Alopecia Day. And I really appreciate your support, and it means a lot to me. So this next slide illustrates that many people in their IAD photos for the video will make a sign, often in their own language, and hold up in the photo. I encourage people to do that. And this is a little girl from Russia who was in this year's video. Many groups around the world, several of them have really large events. Groups in Australia do, and in Italy, they've really taken a hold of it, and they printed these shirts with International Alopecia Day and a special logo, and Cake has it on it too, so they do that sort of thing every year. And I encourage people to pose in front of landmarks or recognizable places in their country, and I think some of you recognize Pat from France here in this photo. She's contributed every year. And the last photo here is a beach party in Southern California, not far from where I live in San Diego. And this was put on by a wonderful organization called the Children's Alopecia Project. I just want to conclude by telling you that when I lost all my hair in 2008, I thought my life was over. I really was devastated. I didn't know what I was going to do, and I felt very alone. But I know now that alopecia has given me way more than it took away. First, as someone has already alluded to, I am more self-confident and less self-conscious than I ever was when I had hair. Go figure. But I think part of it was because I made myself get used to being involved in public, due to my hot head. So, whatever reason, I really have more confidence. I choose to see myself as beautiful, unique, exotic. For a while I had to kind of tell myself that, now I believe it. And at 64, it's good to feel that way. And I choose not to let others define how I should look.
Yes.
Second reason I think alopecia has given me more than it took away. Through International Alopecia Day and my video project and my IAD Facebook support group, I feel I've done something meaningful in my life in a way that I never felt in my years practicing law. It's given me a real role and a feeling that I've done something. And finally, and most importantly, because of alopecia, I have friends all over the world. I have spoken at an alopecia conference in Russia, and I will do that again next year when I go there. I've met with people in Japan and Switzerland who I met through my video project and become my friends. And many of you here in the UK who I already knew, and we'll meet more of you this weekend. So what I want to say is thank you, Alopecia Areata. And thank you, Alopecia UK.